Hello everyone, Alex here, and today we are gonna give a top 10 characters for DC Worlds Collide. Okay, so at number 10 we have Pandora, but Pandora needs to be relatively big for her to have this ranking. If she's like at 5, 6 or 7 rank, you would be better off with Kid Flash. I would even say that for her, in my opinion at least, to be a better healer than Kid Flash, especially because Kid Flash is very flexible and you can activate his team synergy a lot easier and you can fit him into any team. She needs to have a budget level 30. She's almost very close, like very similar. If they have a similar build, like both, let's say, at a 5 red and with the same type of gear, they are very similar in how they perform Pandora and Kid Flash, and let's say both at a badge level 20. But badge level 30 for her gives her in her ultimate extra life steal. So the problem with Pandora as a healer is that she sacrifices her HP and then she doesn't heal herself with any of her abilities. You can pair her with John Constantine and John Constantine add some recuperate, so she slowly heals up from this. You can have them with a Ocean Master at rank 3, his team synergy, so at rank 10 Ocean Master, and he gives a 1% healing to all his team when someone blocks. So Pandora in a team like that can heal a little bit up, and when she heals up, and you have her at rank 8, I think, she needs to be for this to activate. So when she basically loses 100% of her HP in a battle and still is alive, so by healing again, then she gains extra heal and shield crit rate, which is very strong because she also applies shields and she heals, and it's annoying in some situations. She can die because she heals her teammates, back up everyone, but if the opponents are dealing a lot of damage and it's challenging node, she ends up kind of dying. She's also a little bit of squishy, but why she gets over Kid Flash is that she also deals damage with her ultimate, and Kid Flash doesn't really deal any damage. So she is very similar in how she performs in the healing department, the survivability, because she also has shields, but she also does decent damage while Kid Flash does very little damage. And if both are at rank 30, Pandora is even a bit better healer than Kid Flash. Well, since we mentioned him quite a lot, he's actually not in the list. He's an honorable mention, and he's a very strong healer that's definitely worth building. If there was a top 15 list, he would be on it, and he's very flexible. He has a team synergy that can work in many situations, so Kid Flash is definitely a character not to overlook. At number 9 we have Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor got a nerf with his ultimate that for every use it costs one more ultimate point. This can be, in some situations like Arena or even Elite Arena, this can actually be a small buff because they also made his shield a little bit stronger, and because it costs only 2, if you have it going on turn 2, you can have one more character in your team that has their ultimate also with a 2 cost, and you like Zatanna or Grodd, and their ultimate will also go off, so you can throw 2 ultimates in your second turn instead of 1, and his next turn it will still go 3 like it used to, so it's not very expensive, and he's a flexible character with his team synergy, but he's not amazing in main stages anymore because you cannot really rely on him to protect his teammates a lot with his shield, because okay, you uncast your shield 2 times, maybe 3. You're kind of crazy if you make it 4 times, but maybe. Because if it costs like 4 or 5 energy, you could do 2 ultimates with that in many situations of other characters. So, and it goes to 6 cost, like, okay, he adds a shield, he has a team synergy, so he can add something like this for everyone. You can use this in a league challenge. He's a decent tank, but more so in the second place, like a secondary tank. One of the tanks is hit by 3 people, and one is hit by 2. Lex is the tank that gets hit by 2, so he can survive a little bit more. So he gets some damage reduction after some turns, and then he's a little bit tankier and casts a shield before dying, so he protects a little bit his teammates. He's like a supportive tank that calls in many assists, and this can help if you have like a team like Wonder Woman and Zatanna. Zatanna gives a life steal and a Wonder Woman doing more basics because she called in for assist. For once, it will deal more damage because you have a beast like that is Wonder Woman. Spoiler alert, is high on the list. Dealing more damage, but also surviving more because of that. And he casts shields that helps people survive. But he wouldn't really elevate too much a team as a solo character. He's a bit more of a supportive character that his ultimate cost is very expensive in main stages. So you cannot rely on him being the main, like a person keeping your team alive. He's still strong. Some people use him in arena. I wouldn't say he's great there anymore. People are using him in Elite Arena. He's kind of used everywhere to some degree, even like in the last stages of the last challenge, the final boss. He is used many times as the main tank, but yeah, his ultimate being more expensive, he kinda fell off a little bit. At number 8, we also mentioned her, Zatanna. Zatanna is a great support that gives frantic to her teammates, so it makes them have a higher chance of critting. And this also gives them lifesteal. Per frantic on the team, they have lifesteal, so they can survive more. She clears buffs from the opponents both with her basic and with her ultimate. That's kinda rare, not many people do that. Her emblem is awesome, it's the best emblem in the game, and it's the first you want to max out even before Wonder Woman or anyone, because the first 2 castings of her advanced attack that gives the frantic, she increases progress of the action bar of all allies by 20%. So you have an emblem like this, an artifact that gives her also speed stat by 10%. You have 4 speed gear on her, so she's very fast. She goes basically first with that, even like before a flash that will go, is the fastest character in the game and will go first and knock back your action bar. With this, that only goes for support, so you cannot have it on a flash. This will give her speed. She goes first. She gives 20% action bar to everyone in her team. So the way this plays out, even if the opponents have a Zatanna that will do the same thing, all your team or most characters of your team, maybe someone is very slow, will go before the opponent's Zatanna even, so you cast many basics and you are the first person using an ultimate that if it's a Wonder Woman can stun the opponent's Wonder Woman, so you really have an advantage. It's a bit of a coin flip. It's maybe dependent on that. I haven't tested too much with the artifact how it plays out, like if you have 5% speed and 10, but it's self-explanatory that if you have 10% more speed, you will go before the opponent's Zatanna that has 5. But and you definitely need to have 4 speed on her. She'll also be casting that besides like giving action bar first, she will be casting that more often, so she will keep giving both more damage to her teammates because they will crit more, but also more lifesteal because the lifesteal of her teammates are based on how many frantic they have on them, like the whole team. And yeah, she basically manipulates the speed of in arena situations that your team will go first. And this is very strong because if you are the first person casting an ultimate or even an advanced attack like a Wonder Woman can make someone put silence on someone. She can stun people. If you have a Wonder Woman's artifact that maxed out, it also puts out more silence. If you have a Green Arrow, they don't recommend, but if you have Green Arrow's team synergy with them in I don't recommend using that in arena, but especially the main arena. Some people do in elite arena, but this is a strategy that you also team Green Arrows, team synergy. Also, you will land more silence, so basically you control the opponents just by going first, because Zatanna makes your team the fastest. She helps with survivability, but not so much as a Kid Flash or Pandora. Maybe some characters that are fast and that are hitting a lot, like Wonder Woman, that already have like some frantics on them, or crit chance might pair better with and that do a lot of damage to many people, might survive a bit more with the lifesteal that she has than other characters that maybe don't take advantage too much of that. Lex also helps with that, calling assists. She also does a little bit of damage, but so in some situations, main sages especially, you kinda want to have Wonder Woman being the main damage dealer and Zatanna getting many stacks of frantic on herself. So she at least does an ultimate that hits a row. She doesn't do the worst damage in the game, so she helps a little bit with the damage as well. So she's a support that helps with survivability, helps with controlling the removing buffs from the opponents, putting armor break that makes them take a little bit more damage because it decreases their defense, not their like the max HP damage that they're taking. Only how much the defense is reducing the damage, but still helps. Yeah. So run for Zatanna, especially her emblem. And her ranks, like here, putting out more frantics, or she heals herself so she can stay alive and keep doing more frantics. It's not too bad. Just she kind of enables other characters, like Wonder Woman, for example, or even like a John Constantine. She is not really carrying a team by herself. She's a great support that pairs very well with Wonder Woman. At number 7, we have Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is an awesome character. I use him everywhere pretty much, or in most places, everywhere I mean. Also in arena, both on offense and on defense. He's also a big reason my strongest team in Elite Arena wins a lot. Main stages, he's great. He may not be used too much in stuff like Evil Falls or team-ups or something like this, or like a system recovery when you want to clear the opponents fast. He's not really the best always for that. But in the block team, he's kind of the third best character. So spoiler alert, there are 2 characters above that. But he's like a great character to stop crit and to counter crit. So Wonder Woman is a very strong character, and he is the best counter for her in many cases. Like here, he gives damage reduction when a crit hits him. Then he gets more block. He gains crit damage reduction, so he will get less damage. He can remove Frantic from the opponents and make it into Exhaustion. So Frantic gives more crit. Exhaustion does 50% less damage. So that's very strong. He removes Frantic here that allow people to drain, for example, with a Zatanna, or have a guaranteed crit, more likely. He gives a shelter to back row allies, so they take 50% less damage. He's great at protecting his teammates against Wonder Woman. Here he also he counterattacks when someone from his back row is hit by critical hits, which can be an advanced attack if you have his emblem maxed out that will add weaken, so they do less damage on you. It can change their frantic to exhaustion again if you have a big investment to him. And yeah, he definitely is not like in the place he's at like 2 red. He needs to be at 3 red to be there, but at 3 red he's very, very strong. And he can like make an arena team stronger and an elite arena and a main stage team. It basically like works everywhere. And also his emblem here. And when he counterattacks people that hit with critical hits, he increases the crit rate but reduces their crit damage. So basically this also helps activate this more, that gives more damage reduction to the back row. He's a very strong anti-crit character. In some situations, a block team, even without him, can win in the mirror match. That's a bit annoying. So he's like a strong to counter crit specifically, not necessarily the strongest character standalone, that in all situations will be very, very strong. He's a decent tank, but block team works more for other reasons and other characters that are higher on the list. At number 6 we have John Constantine. John Constantine is an awesome DPS, a great damage dealer. For many people he will be the second best after Wonder Woman, because you may very likely not have a very big Sinestro. I know I'm kinda spoiling who are the characters above, but be patient, maybe you don't expect a couple of characters here, and I'm also gonna give some honorable mentions that are very close to the list, but barely didn't make it. So he's a great damage dealer that works very well with a block team, so you can have them together in Elite Arena and in main stages, because he gives buffs and can give up to 3 buffs. And first of all, Recuperate can help them survive a bit, and with Nightwing, his ultimate has a base 60% stun chance, but if he has 4 buffs on him, it will go up 10% per buff. So every buff on Nightwing will make his ultimate more likely to land up to 100%. And Constantine can really help with that. So he can do great damage. He dispels buffs from the opponents. That's very strong. He's also kind of survivable with having lifesteal. And his passive also can dispel buff, not only his ultimate. So this every 3 turns he throws projectiles on the opponent. There is a circular out him that goes off, and it has a chance of dispelling buffs from the opponents while dealing also more damage and can potentially kill people. So he's a massive damage dealer. He hurts his teammates a little bit. It's a bit annoying in some situations that they lose 15% of their HP, but they gain strong attack, so they do more damage and recuperate. And if they are low on HP, even Shelter that can take 50% less damage from the next attack. But this 15% HP that they lose at the beginning of the match, because it's based on their current HP, so if they are like 10% HP, losing 15%, they don't lose too much HP, and gaining recuperate will heal them a lot more than that eventually. But there is some situations where you're punching up a lot, you're doing main sages that you should be on higher level to comfortably beat them, and this 50 or like other content like a system recovery, many situations that this 15% will make your team die. And removing him and adding a healer like it Flash can actually keep your team alive, even though you will be doing less damage. But in situations where you want to do a lot of damage, is a character that I've been pairing like with Wonder Woman and Zatanna, because Zatanna gives ranting by her emblem to the 2 highest attack. So you have Zatanna, Wonder Woman doing a lot of damage, and then you have someone that can even amplify their damage more, like a Red Hood that can give them crit chance for the first 3 rounds and crit damage, but I have my Wonder Woman kinda maxed with crit chance. Or Green Arrow that gives area of effect character 16% more damage and can apply silence if he's at rank 10. Those are the honorable mentions. I'm not gonna mention them more than not higher on the list. They can be like a nice enablers or helping do a lot of damage. For example, something like system recovery where you want to beat sages by 5 rounds or whatever. So beating them faster, or even like a team ups that are only 7 rounds. So those characters can be really great in there, and they also deal very decent damage by themselves. So he's a flexible character that can fit into those situations where you want to deal a lot of damage. If he is your second best damage dealer, he can carry the damage for like a block team in Elite Arena. Some people use him in Arena, he's not that great, especially this 15% sacrifice HP really hurts you in Arena, and then opponent's Wonder Woman can kill you because you have this 15% less HP, so he's kinda bad in Arena. Don't use him, preferably there in main arena. You can use him in Elite Arena with block and have Wonder Woman make a different team. Definitely a great character to invest in. You get many fragments of his just by logging in. Many people might not have Sinestro, so he's an awesome damage dealer. And for the third league challenge, you need to deal superpower damage. So he will be your main damage dealer in there. He can also work with Mr. Terrific that gives more, helps DPS that deal superpower damage. Constantine is one of the main candidates to make a team around Mr. Terrific. Since we mentioned him, let's just talk a little bit about him. He's an honorable mention. He might make the list, but not really. He's close to, though maybe if it was like a top 15 or top 20 list, he would be in there. They might become a little bit stronger with like a new... with crypto coming into the game, might work well with them, or with the Green Lantern artifact that you can pair with Guy. Maybe they can be a little bit stronger. Maybe if you have more, if he becomes a bit more available and you can rank him up to rank 10, maybe we can start seeing him a bit more. His team, I think, is kind of nice. If you have no tank in your team, it gives extra superpower damage. A life steal to characters that are like that gives them a little bit of defense to every DPS, so they can survive a bit more. And if he's a rank 10, 5 red, he also will, when you cleanse debuff, that he cleanses debuff by 2 ways, by his ultimate and just by taking a turn if his emblem is at rank 20. He also will heal your team for 20% of their missing health, so this can be nice. He's a nice character that can make lead like a great third Elite Arena team that can beat Wonder Woman teams in some situations, especially with RNG, or if you have a similar investment than the opponent's Wonder Woman, that in some cases you may not, because he's not as easily available as Wonder Woman. He's definitely a character to upgrade for like your third or second team, to like make an Elite Arena team, to use him in some situations. We definitely haven't explored his full potential yet. Many people don't have him like maxed out in like having many stars on him. People haven't experimented all the possible situations, but there aren't too many like superpower DPS, superpower damage DPS. So maybe they will introduce in a month someone that is a better DPS with superpower, and having Mr. Terrific will gain more value that way. It's definitely worth building and a strong character that we haven't fully explored yet. But just honorable mention, he doesn't get into the top 10. yet. I'm also gonna mention Hal, since he's a character that deals superpower damage as a DPS that can work with Terrific, and he's probably better now in the game with Terrific being into it. He's a strong DPS. We have many of those that are easier available, that are probably stronger in more places or at the same level. He definitely is worth talking about, and maybe if I had him at a similar level than my Wonder Woman, I would actually say he can go into the top 10. Since I don't have him tested and he's probably like the 12th or something best character in the game, he's a character that is worth being mentioned, that if you happen to pull him, definitely upgrade him. But I wouldn't prioritize him like as a legendary, that I would do other characters that are on the list higher first. Not Lex necessarily. Lex, you can farm his fragments from the arena store anyways, or shop. You can spend 8th metal on other characters. You will get Lex eventually. But Lex is definitely more flexible, I feel like. And a bit more in demand. You have many DPS, not so many great tanks. At number 5, we have Ocean Master. Ocean Master is a character that definitely overlooked. His ultimate, originally the first glance, doesn't seem so interesting. Like, he just applies weaken to the opponents. They will just deal 8% less damage, who cares? But he does a lot of counter attacks when your teammates block. So he will add tons of weaken, and then he will actually can add up to 45 stacks of bleeds. So like 15 stacks for 3 turns. If the opponents have 15 weaken of them, and you have him at rank 10, he will add up to 45 stacks of bleeds up to 5 people. Usually it's not that high for everyone on your team. Some people hit you more and they have more stacks of weaken. Like for example, a Flash would be destroyed by a weaken. He gets counterattacked a lot. And some other characters that are slower may have like 4 stacks of weaken on them. But having like 20% of attack times 15 is already strong. That for 3 turns is very, very nice, and to many people, and it stops seals from working, so you can counter some teams with Lex, for example, or there are many annoying compositions that you may find in main stages that have seals on them, like Phantom Stranger and Captain Cold are doing a lot of shields, even like Jessica, Pandora even. There are many cards that put out shields, and the Ocean Master is a way of a bit later in the match counter them. And this adds up, like having a character that block a lot, that you have an investment to them. This can add up both in damage by doing many counter attacks and also adding bleeds. This can work as a debuff, that can work with a debuff team like around Sinestro. Giving block chance a block amount is awesome, and will really help the survivability of his team. And I even haven't talked about his team affinity. That's probably the best team synergy in the game, that gives your whole team up to 30% attack if they block enough. It will give them 30% more attack, which is very strong. But if you also have it at level 3, so he's at rank 10, it also heals them for every block 1% of max HP for all allies. So if you have someone that hits you like 3-4 times, there are some abilities like that. Even like Batman's ultimate. If you have like a Nightwing that blocks all 3-4 hits, it's 4% max HP healed for everyone. And there's many situations like area of effects that you can have like 2-3 blocks. This can add up and can help with the survivability, plus adding the attack is strong by itself. And if you have a team that is very high in block, especially the tanks, like Blue Beetle and Nightwing. They stop the crit already by Blue Beetle. Then you have him adding tons of weaken on them, so they deal less damage on you. And you will activate this more because you have a team that blocks a lot, so you heal, you have more attack on everyone, and it's a very survivable team. Ocean Master is also used in his team affinity in arena a lot. I have him in my arena both on offense and on defense, and his team affinity is very strong, and is definitely Ocean Master is a strong character in there that helps me win both in arena and in elite arena. Also in main sages he's awesome. You can also use him affinity a bit more flexibly, like just with Nightwing, so you have two characters that are kind of survivable. You can even throw him in the front row. He also gains some block amount. He's kind of tanky a little bit. He also can give block amount. I think he can give to himself with that. So you can have those two. You can even have him in the front row. You activate this team synergy, give more attack to everyone, and have three, like Zatanna, Wonder Woman, and Constantine dealing a lot of damage in situations like team ups or something like this. They can also work like Ocean Master and Nightwing with Sinestro, because then Nightwing will be blocking a lot, Ocean Master will be counterattacking a lot, and all of those counterattacks add are debuffs. So Sinestro can use his ultimate a lot more often and deal more damage with that and add more fear. And you can make a team like this, like a hybrid of a block and debuff. I mainly use it in system recovery when you don't need to have mighty characters. You can make a strong team like that. Definitely Ocean Master is a character not to overlook and to kind of rush building, especially when you need to have two teams. He helps with the damage a bit. He helps with the survivability of the team. Definitely a strong character. At number 4, we have Deathstroke. He could even go like number 3, but only as a caveat if you have big investment in him. If you have a Deathstroke at 2 red and the rest of your team are like rank 8 or 9 or 10, he kinda falls off. He's not really keeping up with them. He needs to be at least rank 8, if not 9 and 10. His ranking here at 4, I'm kinda thinking like he's at rank 10. He's a bit of a luxury. I would probably prioritize Sinestro first. Like you have Wonder Woman as legendary that you want to rank up very fast. You have Sinestro. You kinda want to have Blue Beetle at least at 3 red if you're running him in arena and in main stages in your main team. So Deathstroke is a little bit of a luxury or a spender's character. You can also not. You kind of need to be lucky to pull him. That I was, and he really needs an investment to be strong. If you have him at 5 red, he's a beast. He goes in, he kills everyone. He can activate Sinestro a lot because he goes very fast and hits multiple times, adding bleeds, so he can add many debuffs quickly and reduce Sinestro's ultimate energy, so it only needs 3 energy instead of 4, and plus he deals massive damage by his own and it quickly bursts through the opponents. So if you have a big Deathstroke, it's definitely worth talking about. But at the same time, like if you have a Deathstroke, at 2 red, he's not even top 10, he's not even top 20. He kinda sucks, he's not great. You can use him in Evil Falls against Owlman, maybe in some comps in your third team where they shield a lot because Blitz counters shield, and he can help in those situations to some degree, but otherwise, yeah, you kind of need to think, okay, first upgrade, Wonder Woman. Okay, you can farm some of her fragments from a store. Maybe you can wait a little bit, but I wouldn't actually. I would bring Wonder Woman to 5 red at least. Then, yeah, okay, you stop Wonder Woman, only buy her own fragments, don't select her in the Elite Arena store as an extra, don't spend 8 metal after that on her, but Wonder Woman first. Then Sinestro at least to 3 red. Same as Blue Beetle, because he's kinda mandatory at this size. Then you can get probably a bit more value, like doing Sinestro higher and then Deathstroke. So Deathstroke is a little bit of a luxury build or more of a late game if you have all those legendaries, like you have done in Wonder Woman, you have done Lex, you have 2-3 Sinestro, then you have a Blue Beetle at 3. Then yeah, you can bring him at 3 and have him be strong. And if he's even higher than 3, like 4 red or 5, then he really becomes a beast. So for me, no, he's not my 4th best character. But if I had all of them at 5 red, then he probably would be like my 4th, maybe even the 3rd best character for me. I would still say 4th, but... And at number 3 we have Nightwing. Nightwing is an awesome tank. He's the best tank in the game. He helps, he blocks a lot, he gains block here. He gains a firm sun that gives him block. He gains block amount by his emblem. Block is a build for him. And when he blocks, his passive here is awesome, that when he gets hit and he blocks, the opponents gain a lot of damage. So basically he just hits there, being a massive tank, having a big block amount, especially paired with Ocean Master that can give him even higher block chance and block amount, and can add weaken to the opponents that reduce their attack and their block break, so he's guaranteed to block, and the opponents will deal less and less damage on him. You can also have a healer in there to help him survive a little bit more, and then he's a beast. Like, the opponents just are taking tons of damage just by hitting him, so he helps in that department. Plus he does a little bit of damage, like using his ultimate, deals a little bit of damage, not too bad. He also controls the opponents, like landing a stun on the highest, that always hits the highest attack opponent, so he can help with that. He's a beast. He's the best character. He's the best tank. Just plug and play. You can throw him in any team if you have his emblem at least at 15, because at 15 it will give him a 19.1% block amount, but 25 is definitely something to rush. Very, very fast, like one of the first characters want to bring to 25. His butts might even be the second after, like, Zatanna. Maybe after Wonder Woman first, and then just you do Zatanna 30, Wonder Woman 25, and Nightwing 25. All of them are also different colors, so you can kind of bring everyone to 25. It's a great like suggestion. He's very, very beefy. You can just throw him alone as a tank in many teams that I do, like System Recovery, Evil Falls in some situations, in team ups, because he stays alive for long, so your back team is protected. He also deals damage passively just by getting hit. He's awesome. He's great. And with a Ocean Master, it activates that to a massive degree. Like, you will quickly have a 30% attack stat on everyone on your team, because Nightwing blocks a lot, especially if you have Nightwing on one side as the main tank and Blue Beetle as a second tank. Both of them block a lot. Then they will be healing their team a lot. He will be counter-attacking a lot, dealing damage, adding weaken. They will deal less damage at you. Then he will add blitz. Really, the two of them are making great team, and the Blue Beetle amps them up a little bit more, especially to counter Wonder Woman in the great team. Very, very strong. As I said, the best tank. Works in main stages, works in arena, in elite arena. The stun going after the highest attack is very, very strong, and it lasts for many turns. So it's for 2 turns and then for 3 turns. Yeah, this can really neuter somewhere. I wouldn't have it going off as a first attack, but maybe the second or third. I usually as a block team, I have first Constantine going, then either Pandora or Kid Flash, whoever the support or then the healer is, would be the second because heals everyone up a little bit, and then the third would be Nightwing, and fourth Ocean Master, because by then the opponent will have enough weaken on them and he can really start doing some damage by adding tons of bleed. And I have him last because he's small, this won't deal enough damage. Some people are using it just to have the protection by 50% for the back row. And in our main arena, I have Wonder Woman with them. And Wonder Woman goes first, does her ultimate, may stun many people, may kill some people, and then I have Nightwing going second, so maybe we land a lucky stun with Wonder Woman first to the opponent's Wonder Woman, and then I have Nightwing going second, so when the opponent's Wonder Woman lose their stun, they will be stunned by Nightwing and they can't do anything. That's the hope, and if I get good RNG, I win by that. Also, when he uses his ultimate, it gives firm stand so for him and the Blue Beetle in the front row, so they will be basically guaranteed to block. He will have a buff that then he can land the stuns. Both of them will block. They will gain a lot less damage because of the block amount. He will start healing them. They will have attack very quickly. Definitely a very, very strong character that you definitely want to rush. He's on the Elsword store. He's the best buy there. Maybe first to buy the materials to upgrade the reinforcements, and then go for 50 Nightwing shards fragments every reset. But definitely like an awesome character that I really love having, and he was the second character after Wonder Woman for a long time that I would level up because he's a beast. Having a big tank really helps you push content further. And as I said, he's used everywhere. Main stage, he's the main tank. In my first team, in arena, he's the main tank and helps me win. In elite arena, he's the main tank on my strongest elite arena team that gives me the most victories. He's my main tank in system recovery usually. Even if I want to go very fast, because he will absorb many hits and I don't have to worry about my back row. They can just survive by the life steal Zatanna gives them. He's the main tank in team ups. I use him in the second league challenge. I use him in some evil falls. He's awesome, he's great, he's one of the best characters in the game, but he needs to be at least 15 his buds, if not like 25. 20 also gives him buffs every time he blocks that for once allow him to survive more, for second will make his ultimate likelier to land, and then he will get a block amount at 25 that will really make him like super survivable. So definitely rush Nightwing to emblem 25. He's very, very strong there, and block gear on him to really make him stronger. At number 2 we have Sinestro, but again he kinda needs to be like rank 10 to have this ranking. For me, as they are, Sinestro at 3 red and Constantine at 5 red at rank 10. Constantine is my second best damage dealer that I use if I want to clear content fast. But Sinestro is very close to him. So I have them both together at my boss fight for the league challenge, the last one against Steppenwolf, because you need to have a superpower damage. Physical damage doesn't do nothing, so Wonder Woman is not good in this scenario, this situation. And usually Constantine outperforms Sinestro. He does like 10 to some situations like 30% more damage, but he's 2 ranks higher and has a higher investment into his gear. So I'm thinking that when Sinestro goes to 4 red to rank 9, that I'm farming him, and it's very nice that he's in the arena store sometimes now. And I will also use my 8th medal, I'm saving it for him. I'm thinking like at 4 red, he will probably become a bit stronger than Constantine. I'm not sure 100% in 5 red, and he also has a team synergy that you can build a team around and help you push content a lot in main stages. It can kind of work in Elite Arena. Usually Elite Arena you have 2 strong teams and one kind of weak, and you hope you get lucky and the opponent's strongest team will face your weakest, and you have your 2 strongest team winning. So you just have 1 strong team from the opponents to fight. But Sinestro can make a 3rd team win sometimes, like 10% of the time, or 20 if he's very, very big. So he can also help a little bit with the Elite Arena, or if your 3rd best team goes against their 3rd best team, then you fight to win there. He can definitely make a little bit of a stronger Elite Arena. He helps a lot to make 1 more team when you need 3 teams in main stages. He helps massively doing more damage in the final node with Steppenwolf, the final league challenge, where you would have Raven anyways because she's needed there to revive, so she adds many debuffs and it works great with him. He just kind of needs to have many debuffs to work. So if you have his team synergy, debuffs deal more damage. When you do his ultimate, debuffs make him more likely to land fear up to 100%. When he adds fear, he gains action bar, he goes faster. He deals 10% more damage by power fear than that he gets when your teammates add debuffs on them. So you need the team with debuffs for him to work. And super important, when your teammates add 6 stacks of 6 times debuffs on the opponents, when teammates add in 6 different situations, not 6 debuffs, then his ultimate will cost 1 less, so instead of 4 it will cost 3. And this is super important. So you need to have a team around him for him to work. In many situations, because Wonder Woman still outperforms him, if you want to have like a content clearing fast, like a system recovery, you may not want to use Sinestro because his ultimate costs 4. And still may want to use someone like Constantine. I'm not 100% sure. I want to try a big Sinestro there. But Sinestro is a beast. He's an awesome damage dealer. He's super power damage, so he could work with Mr. Terrific. But I find by my limited testing in that it's kind of hard, it's a bit annoying, you don't land too many debuffs quickly to the opponent, so you have to wait to use his ultimate, or you use it at 4 cost. It's not optimal. He also not having many debuffs on the opponents and not having his same synergy active, he will do less damage to the opponents and will add less fear, so he kind of becomes a little bit less useful there. But in the sense that he's probably the best damage dealer in some evil falls. In the second league challenge, he's there. In the third league challenge, he's the best damage dealer. He helps you push content in mage sages a lot. He kinda can help with elite arena. Some people were using him in arena in some at some point because they had a very heavy investment for him for other situations, and he was kind of helping them being massive there. Awesome character. Definitely having him even at 2 red will help you do bigger damage at the last league challenge, will help you have a third strong main sages team, that if you have him a little bit bigger, you can they can move to the second team at main sages and carry that. He's basically the leader of this team, a debuff team. That are characters that you want to build, like Raven, like Grodd, that are strong on their own, and Raven is definitely mandatory for the last league challenge, and is like a clutch character some situations, like Evil Falls, or even in other situations, because he revives people, and this can be kinda nice. Plus, Sinestro now is, you can farm his fragments in the league shop. In arena shop. By doing the league challenge, you have a chance of pulling him. So you can kinda get him. Not you kinda need to wait a little bit and to be a bit lucky. But after 100 pulls, there is a 33.3% chance it will be Sinestro, and that's if you don't get the 1% pull rate. You have a guarantee. You may even get him faster. I'm not saying he's super free to play friendly, but having Sinestro can definitely help your account to round it up, especially end game, and help you push a lot of content. And since he's a very strong damage dealer, I can see him being big, help you push everything. Since we mentioned them, let's say Grodd is a nice tank that's kinda worth building. There's not too many great tanks. Raven is definitely a good honorable mention that would go into a list at top 15, because it's also super important in the last league challenge, because Seven Wolf kills your teammates and then she revives them, and he really helps you do a better score there. Plus, it's kinda nice plug and play. He can help activate like Batman Sim synergy. You could use that in the second league challenge, but it's not the best character in there. Many people are using her as plug and play, like, or with Sinestro at the team, because she adds many debuffs, and then she can help activate Sinestro and be a strong support, helping a little bit with the damage, and also reviving people in some situations can be very clutch. And there are some league challenges, some main stages that even if you don't have Sinestro, you can throw Raven to revive against someone that kills only one person. Some situations can be against Robin, where he kills someone in the back row, Raven revives them, and you keep going like that. Or against Star Sapphire, is very strong, so Star Sapphire does massive damage to one person, but then he kinda stands there for a few rounds. So if you have someone dying in the front row and Raven always reviving them, this kinda works very clutch and very strong, and she would definitely be in a list for a top 15. And at number 1, no surprise there, Wonder Woman. She's kinda get countered a little bit, like Blue Beetle makes it hard, you win against them in Elite Arena. It kinda forced you to merge them, to use like Wonder Woman, Zatanna, plus the 3 block teams in Arena. You couldn't use like a very strong, like super high damage team around Wonder Woman and just having her carry everything. In some situations in Elite Arena, a very a team with a very high investment in Mr. Terrific and other characters can beat them. It's a bit RNG. So she's not like as dominant anymore that she demolishes everything. In many situations, she cannot just use an ultimate of hers and kill the opponents. They're kind of more survivable. You kind of need to sustain a little bit and use her second ultimate and a bit protect her to reach that. But she's still a massive damage dealer that benefits a lot from crit. She works amazing with Zatanna. She also has Franticon of her own, so there's more life steal there. And having her go very fast by Zatanna, giving her the action bar, she goes first. She does an advanced attack, puts silence on someone in the front row. Then she does an ultimate that has a 40% chance of stunning everyone. For each person 40% chance. If you have her lasso maxed out, it also can put silence for two people. So she's a very massive damage dealer that also deals a lot of controlling effects on the opponents that can really neuter them. Block kinda counters that. Nightwing can really stand on his ground and take very little damage from her, especially paired with Blue Beetle and Ocean Master. But Wonder Woman is still an amazing character. She can lead the team, basically just having Wonder Woman and a couple of scraps can make a main Sage's beating team that I'm now what am I, 54 or 6? 55-12. And she still leads a team that basically is Wonder Woman kills everyone. Main damage dealer in the arena. Very strong Elite Arena team that's my second best that wins a lot. Used everywhere basically when you need damage, like system recovery when you want to kill them quickly. Team ups, even in many evil falls, because you just need damage. If there's not something very particular, then you need many debuffs, for example. Evil falls are kinda built in a way that you need to have specific teams and not your strongest characters in there. She even leads a mighty team without any team synergy active in a Convergence Crisis, so she's very, very strong. She doesn't need Zatanna to work. They just kinda pair well very nicely. So Zatanna helps her a little bit more, especially when you don't have a massive investment into Wonder Woman. You can really land those crits and the silence and stun the opponents and deal massive damage to them, because against, if you have her emblem upgraded, it gives her massive crit damage, not only 32.4 here, can also go 57, but I don't think it's worth it to go there if you are free to play. And for every 1% of current crit rate, it increases her crit damage by 1%. Yes, she's massive. You can have a Red Hood with them, especially in Elite Arena. It gives another 20% crit damage. You can have a Two-Face in the back row with her that gives her extra damage amplification. I think it's 14, 16 or 18% if I'm not mistaken. That's a nice character, but not really worth an honorable mention. Massive damage dealer, used everywhere as I said. The best character in the game, even if you have every legendary upgrade, and that's nice because you can select her originally in a banner. She's now in a banner that if you have selected someone like Flash or Superman, then spam that here, otherwise can ignore it, because you can slowly get her fragments from the Elite Arena store. Even here where I have the Deathstroke, I would max out Wonder Woman first. Awesome character. Really the first to upgrade, maybe the second to bring her emblem up, or maybe you bring Nightwing to 25 first, but then her to 30 definitely second after Zatanna. And definitely put a lot of gear with crit on her. It will really make her like a beast.